Well, it's been a while since I posted one of these videos. I guess I just haven't had anything that I wanted to share with the world. But recently, the topic of the meaning of life came up in a class that I teach. The curriculum had a section where we were supposed to give the Christian understanding on this question. But instead of going through the suggested material, I thought I would take the opportunity to give my own personal thoughts on the matter. And the students, I think, appreciated it. And then I thought, well, why not share them with the internet as well? So here goes. What is the meaning of life? Why are we here? What is the purpose of our existence? Look, these are deep questions, ones that everyone needs to think about and wrestle with. As you can see, I'm definitely middle-aged, 51 to be precise. Well, here's what I think, based on my experiences to date and my reading and studying of the Bible. I've come up with three main areas, and for some reason they all start with the letter C. The first area is character. I can't remember where I heard this, but someone once said to my wife and I something like, God isn't as interested in what you do, but who you are becoming. Well, look, what we do for God is important. And check out my other video, The Myth of the One, where I talk about guidance and how God can incorporate our choices concerning what we do with our lives into his divine plans. But of greater importance than what we do is who we are becoming. I'm talking about character and becoming more and more like Jesus. The technical word for this is sanctification. And God's Spirit is integrally involved in this process. But it also helps to have a pattern to follow, and Jesus is our example. This is why the Gospels are so important. As we read them, we get to see Jesus at work. His teachings and his interactions with people reveal the Father to us. As Jesus says in John 14:9, anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. So Jesus' example of compassion and grace is one that we should all seek to follow. Now, I could say more about character. If you want more on this, I highly recommend Tom Wright's book, Virtue Reborn. So that's the first C, character. The purpose of life is to become more like Jesus. The second C is creativity. Genesis 1 makes one thing crystal clear. We humans are made in the image of God. And it also shows us that God is creative. So when we express our own creativity, well, we are demonstrating one of the aspects of the image of God at work in us. Even more than this, we can become co-creators with God by the inspiration of God's Spirit working in us. So the purpose of life is to be creative. I've taken this to heart. I love to be creative, whether it be writing a song, or a poem, or a book, or a YouTube video, or even constructing a meta crossword. And this is something everyone should do. Well, maybe not create meta crosswords perhaps, but everyone should be creative in their own way. And this is an important point because creative expression will be unique to every person. Everyone has different experiences and perspectives, so we need everyone's creativity to be expressed so that each person's creative endeavours can be appreciated. And look, I'm not saying everyone has to paint or write or construct crosswords. There are an infinite number of ways of being creative. I remember hearing a recording of a Rob Bell sermon in which he spoke about business as creative expression. So, that's the second C. Creativity. The purpose of life is to create. The last C is connection. And yes, I may have picked that word because it started with a C rather than it being the best word for the job, but that's okay. Let me explain what I mean by connection. When Jesus was asked what was the most important commandment, he replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind." Then he said the second most important commandment was, love your neighbour as yourself. So life is about connecting, first with God and then with others. Relationships are so important. We need to find time to connect with those around us, our family, our friends, our children, our colleagues, our neighbours, and so on. In this day and age of entertainment on tap, it can be very easy to just waste time constantly consuming stuff. Or we can throw ourselves into work at the expense of relationships. But no one on their deathbed says, "Oh, I wish I spent more time at the office." No, after all, we need to think about what will last into eternity, and that's people. Actually, I wrote a song about that called Into Eternity. Maybe one day I'll do a music video for it. Stay tuned. So, those are my thoughts about the meaning of life. Character, that is, becoming more like Jesus. Creativity, as we create in our unique ways. And connection with God and with others. Let me know in the comments what you think, and tell me what I've left out.